Hello, I'm Bruce DePoy. Coming up today on News Talk, a conversation with Prince George's County Executive Rushern Baker. We'll talk about the start of the new school year and the council's rejection of Mr. Baker's call for a boost in education funding. And we'll discuss the spat over funding for police officers at a new police station the residents have been clamoring for. Later in the show, another batch of Hillary Clinton's emails is released, raising more questions about her decision to use a private email server. The documents come as her poll numbers sag and as Senator Bernie Sanders gains ground on the Democrats' 2016 frontrunner. We'll get the latest from Politico's Josh Gerstein.
From News Channel 8, this is News Talk with Bruce DePoy.
Hey everybody, welcome in on this Tuesday. A lot going on in our world, and I'm telling you, we've got a great lineup for you this time. So good to have you with us. Our first guest this time is in his second term as Prince George's County Executive. It used to be that schools were the province of the Board of Education, but no more. Now the superintendent, they call it the CEO in Prince George's County, reports to the executive. And Rushern Baker is here in the studio. Welcome back. It's great to have you here.
Always good to be with you, Bruce.
It's a pleasure to be able to talk with you today. And I know there was it's great to have you here because the new school year has started in the county. Kids have already been back in class for several days, and this is you can hear them now. They're knocking on the door to get in. That's the enthusiasm that
they're excited to be back.
Teachers and students alike have. This is the classic time of year when everyone's got when it's a blank slate. You're in a you don't have any kind of a bad test result to dig out, no hole to dig out of. You got the new books, the new supplies, new classroom. It is a time of excitement.
It really is. It really is. I mean, I was there on the first day with Dr. Maxwell, going around visiting schools. We've got 2 international schools that we opened on the first day of class. The one I visited was in Largo, where we're going to help kids who are coming to our school system who need, who speak English as a second language. We're going to focus so that those kids are going to do really well in their high school years and can go on to college. So it's an exciting time. I mean, we've got some great numbers. School enrollment's up for the second year in a row. Our promotion of middle schoolers, our 9th grade promotion are up. So it means that we're going in the right direction. And so it's good to, we feel good about where we're going in our education system.
Some of your predecessors had a real desire to help the school system and to help advance educational achievement in the county, but they didn't have a lot of power because the boss, the superintendent, reported to the school board, and they were elected by the people. So you got the opportunity to shovel a ton of money to the Board of Education, but beyond using the bully pulpit, there wasn't much you could do. Now the superintendent's called the CEO, and he or she reports, in this case Dr. Maxwell, Kevin Maxwell, reports to you. How has that changed things on the ground?
It's changed it a lot. I mean, one of the things that it allowed us to do, and allowed the school board to do, is to focus on parental engagement, focus on making sure that our kids are doing well in the schools, but it also allows the executive office to have a greater relationship with Dr. Maxwell, and we have a terrific relationship. So the county executive selects the superintendent or CEO and selects the chair of the school board, and there are school appointments that I make and also the council makes. What it means is the progress of our school system is not just in the purview of the superintendent and school board. It also means that county executive and council are right in there together to make sure our schools move forward, which is why we tried to get additional funding for the school this year.
How often do you drop into a school unannounced? How often do you call Dr. Maxwell and press him on something where you want to make sure the urgency is there?
Well, yeah, you hit it right, and the urgency is there. I try to go to a school once a week. Just visit all our schools in Prince George's County. So on my calendar, I try to make it once a week that I'm going to visit one of our schools.
And they know you're coming, or you parachute in unannounced?
Well, I try to shoot in unannounced. It doesn't always work because what I'm there to do is to talk to students, to talk to parents, to talk to teachers, and just get a sense of what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong and where we can make improvements, because that urgency is there when you're dealing with the child. And I talk to Dr. Maxwell constantly. Because I'm always, as we're doing now, is setting out the 3-year strategic plan for how we move Prince George's County forward. And so we're constantly meeting. I'm lucky I've just got a great new education liaison. Tahani, who's been working with Dr. Maxwell, and my former liaison is actually working in Dr. Maxwell's shop.
So you and the CEO went to the public, and you went to the county's other branch of elected leaders, the county council, and you said, we know folks are working hard, and we feel like we have a lot of the right policies in place, but to compete, to achieve at a higher, to compete in a region where we might lose some of our better people, our teachers and principals and maybe other staff, to neighboring subdivisions that can pay a bit more, and it's hard to blame people for wanting to take an opportunity that maybe they've earned if they're really excelling in the classroom, if they're considered a star principal, what have you. You went out and you said, for us to do better, for us to get out of the basement, if I can say it that way, and get into the top 10, which is the great phrase you used, we're going to have more money. The council said no to that, and maybe you could argue the public said no, and that's why the council, under some public pressure, said no to your proposal. So can we assume then that the status quo will remain in Prince George's?
No, no. You know, what I said to Dr. Maxwell is we're going to work with the budget the council has given us. Did we need the 15 cents to move us from where we are, which is about 23rd out of 24 school districts? We're improving, but in order to move into the top 10, we have to invest in our school system the same way, you know, others around the jurisdiction. So we weren't asking Prince Georgians to do anything different than what's happening in D.C. or Montgomery County and other places. But we're going to demand, and I said that to Dr. Maxwell, that we move up, that we improve. And we're going to look at how we marshal the resources that we do have, how we make sure that we're using every dollar efficiently, and that we're combining, you know, resources from the county coffers with the school board's coffers to make sure our students are getting the best. I mean, I'll say this: we were blessed last year to have 2 schools for the first time in about 20 years in Prince George's County that were in the top 1,000 high schools in the nation. That is Roosevelt, which has always been there, but also Oxon Hill. So if we're moving Oxon Hill up, why can't we move DeVal up? Why can't we move Largo High School, Parkdale, and others?
Phone lines open as we talk this Tuesday with Prince George's County Executive Versern Baker. We're going to keep him for 2 segments for those of you watching the hour-long version of the program. Plenty of opportunity for you to join in with your question, comment, or suggestion. Grab an open line. We've posted the number to the bottom of the screen. Those of you watching at our new time in the 11 a.m. hour, so it's 703-387-1020. That's how you can join the conversation. Talk one-on-one with the executive. I really would love to get you into the conversation today. So grab an open line. We'll get to as many calls as we can, and we'll go to the phones as your questions and comments
Chris,
come in.
I could just add one other thing about that whole budget debate.
What I was going to ask is, do you, and I want you to make your point, do you go back to the council with some version of the appeal that you just used? You know, folks are working hard. We have a good team in place, some of the right policies, but to compete, we have to dig deeper into our wallets. Do you, in your remaining years as executive, try again? No,
I think where I go is, and you said it in your opening piece, is go to the public. And one of the things we did during this whole budget debate was have town hall meetings where we had a robust debate, probably the biggest debate we've had in Prince George's County in probably 30 years. But now what I've said to folks is we're going to go back to the kitchens of our residents, to those PTA meetings, and talk about what do we want our school system to look like in 2020? What does it take? What's the investment? How do we streamline it? So that conversation we started around the budget is not going to end, because we're going to make Prince George's County one of the best school systems in the nation. And in order to do that, we've got to get the public to understand how you invest in it.
And anyone having a child now in Prince George's County, will that boy or girl will be entering school in about 2020.
That's right. We want to make sure it's the best in the world.
We've gotten several tweets. We've gotten several questions via Twitter for you from the audience, and I want to begin with the one so far that deals with education. It's on the screen. What can we do? This is from, I forget who this is from. Thank you. This is from Jason Educator, at Jason Educator. Thank you for that. What can we do to make capital improvements for the Prince George's County public school system more ethical, more transparent? With a side note, Bowie High needs help.
Bowie High does need help. I mean, it's the largest school district or school, high school in the state of Maryland. Is one of the reasons we were trying to get more resources, because it does need help. And so, but one of the things that we are working with Dr. Maxwell, and this is why the new legislation giving the county and the school system the ability to work together, is to look at how we do procurement and how we do capital building. And so we're actually going to work as a team to make sure, one, that's streamlined, make sure we're efficiently when we're building new schools, which we need to in the county. So you're going to start seeing the improvements there.
Talk about take us inside the Oxon Hill High School success story.
Yeah, It's what everyone knew all the time, and that is if you get a great principal, which they do. We built a new school there. We put in dynamic programs, so our not just our science and tech programs, but a brand new arts theater there. And so what parents and folks in the county saw was the ability to put their kids into a really good high school, and they took a chance on us, and it worked.
To the phones, Betty first, line 1. Hello, caller. Thanks for watching, and go ahead, please, with your question or comment.
My question is, there are many kids from outside of the PG County school district that attends our schools. So what are you doing to investigate and to make sure these kids go to the schools of their own districts and their own states? Thanks
for watching, Betty.
Yeah, let me deal with the one from D.C. and kids coming from outside of Prince George's County. Those children can come to the county, but they have to pay. So what we're doing now is we're making sure that we're scrutinizing our roles, because our schools are big, especially if you talked about Bowie High School, how large it is, and if you look at High Point High School and places like that. So we want to make sure we have children from Prince George's County there, and if they're outside of the district, they're paid. But, you know, one of the issues we talked about during the whole budget crisis was parents are shopping around trying to find the best school for their child. I mean, everybody is doing that. Yep. What we need to make sure is that every place throughout this 500 square mile area in Prince George's County, there are quality high schools, elementary schools, and middle schools. And the way to do that is to improve the instruction. One of the things we're pleased about in the county is we're seeing a growth in population inside the Beltway. That means we have to make sure we have a school system that's first rate there also.
Talking with Prince George's County Executive Rashern Baker. We will take a quick break here. We are back, though, with more News Talk right after this.